Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys 5 underrated Flee the Facility legendary sets. Now before I begin this video, please make sure to like and subscribe as that would help me out a ton. I would really appreciate your support. And let's get straight into the video with the first set. Starting off with number 5 on the list, for number 5 we have the Snowman Set. Now I know a lot of you guys might be thinking it's not really underrated because the gem doesn't really match the Snowman hammer that much. Now, while that is true, I would say Snowman Hammer is definitely one of the most underrated in the game. I mean, it's just such a super simple and basic design, and the hammer is absolutely amazing when you use it. I know the gem might be a certain complaint, but you can easily substitute the Snowflake gem for a different type of white gem. For example, right over here, I'm substituting the Snowflake gem for the Snow gem, and it goes also really well with the Snowman Hammer. I would say that this hammer is very easy to have a substitute gem with, and it looks really nice, so I would say it's definitely one of the most underrated sets in the game. I'm really sad that not that many people use it or appreciate it because it really is a very nice set. In addition to the Snowman Hammer, you can also substitute the Snowman Hammer for the Snowflake gem, such as using this hammer right over here, for example, the Ice Hammer, and substitute that. I mean, this is a very good set combination, the Ice Hammer and the Snowflake gem. I would say you can easily just choose and customize a bunch of the stuff from that Snowman set with many other type of hammers in this game, and it makes it very, very customizable. And since barely any people use these items, it is very underrated. That's why I chose that as my number 5 of one of the most underrated Flee the Facility sets. Then the 4th most underrated Flee the Facility legendary set is the Dave Pumpkin set. Now, I have a feeling that a lot of people will agree but disagree at the same time. I would say that the Dave Pumpkin set is definitely one of the most underrated simply because the legendary concept for it was not really, it's not as great compared to some of the other Halloween legendary items. A lot of the Halloween legendaries are very fancy, very cool. They have a bunch of very cool items, cool effects. And Dave Pumpkin simply just does not have that. Now, Dave Pumpkins does go pretty good with a few Halloween avatars. Like, for example, the Dave Pumpkins hammer does kind of match the pants of my avatar a little bit. So as you can see, the Dave Pumpkins set can definitely be customized with some types of avatars. It's a very unique design, and I really love it. I mean, it's kind of unique, and it's very old, but I mean, it's also really nice to see some very old style hammers. I'm just sad that people don't really use Dave Pumpkins as much because it's definitely a very customizable hammer. I mean, especially for Halloween time. It's just rather unfortunate that I do know that there are a bunch of cooler hammers than Dave Pumpkins for sure, but I feel like Dave Pumpkins is underrated simply because it's barely used, and there's still a lot of potential for customizability with this one. I just find it sad that not that many people use it and that people value it very low. No one really likes Dave Pumpkins for some reason. I mean, me personally, I love it. I do personally use it sometimes. But I guess most of the Flee the Facility fan base does not. Anyways, those are my reasons for Dave Pumpkins being number 4 on the list, and now let's move on to number 3. So, coming in on number 3 on the list, we have another Halloween set, and that is actually the Coffin Set. Yeah, surprisingly, the Coffin Set is also very underrated in Flee the Facility. The Coffin Set was actually the first set that ever came out in the first Halloween crate for Flee the Facility, and for some reason, people just barely like it anymore. It used to be so much popular back in the day when I used to play back during 2019 all the way to 2022 even. But unfortunately, as of recent times, a bunch of new Halloween items came out and people just prefer those items a lot more than the Coffin Hammer. I mean, people nowadays would rather just use the Hunter sets or the Acidic Potions or the Dev set. It's just unfortunate that Coffin never actually got any love, especially after these new sets. But it is very cool. I think it is very criminally underrated. I mean, it looks awesome. Again, kind of similar to the Snowman set that I mentioned on the number 5 spot, the hammer and gem don't match necessarily really well, although you can definitely substitute these and customize them in any way you want. That's kind of a common trend for all of these underrated items. Most of these are not really the most matching sets, like the hammers and gems don't match super well, but the good thing of that is that it provides another additional opportunity of doing your own customization. Like, for example, you can substitute the Pumpkin Jack gem and substitute another gem for it for the Coffin Hammer, or you can substitute the hammer and use Pumpkin Jack with another hammer, such as Pumpkin Slice. That's actually one of the most popular combinations that I see with the Pumpkin Jack gem. I see people using Pumpkin Slice kind of like this. Unfortunately, the hoodie on my avatar is blocking it, but kind of like this. People just kind of use Pumpkin Slice with the Pumpkin Jack gem. It's just one of the most common substitutions that I see in Trading Post, or that I used to see in Trading Post, as I should say, because no one ever really uses Coffin that much anymore. Not many people really like it anymore, and that's really unfortunate, and it's also very low in values. Not highly demanded, so I would say that it is definitely one of the most underrated legendaries in the game. Now, coming in on the number 2 spot for one of the most underrated Flee the Facility legendary sets in the game, number 2 is the Snow Globe set. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, Snow Globe? I have not seen that hammer in a while. That is right, Snow Globe has not been in the game for a very long time, and not many people actually have it, which is very surprising, and a lot of people just simply don't want it. I don't know why. Snow Globe has not been in the game since 2022, and it is not necessarily a fan favorite from Flee the Facility players. Now, one thing I really do love about the Snow Globe hammer is that it has an effect. That is right, it does have an effect. It has a little white effect from the hammer when you're beast, which is very cool. I really like the effect. I barely see people in Flee the Facility using this item. It is very low demanded, and people really just don't like it. I don't know why, but this is such a cool concept. I mean, you're adding some of the stuff that was in the main lobby from the Flee Facility, all of the Christmas updates, all those events. There's like, what, a little snowman in there, a little present with a bunch of snow on it. I mean, it's such a cool hammer concept and gem concept, but no one really liked it for some reason. It is very low valued, not that many people want it, there's barely any demand for it in trading, and those are the reasons why Snow Globe is the number 2 option. Now, right before I reveal the number 1 spot, make sure to comment down below your guesses. Try to guess which option is number 1 for one of the, in my opinion, most underrated Flee the Facility legendary sets. Well, did you leave your guess down in the comments below? Well, I am about to reveal the number 1 option right now. In my opinion, the number 1 most underrated legendary set in Flee the Facility is the Book of Fortunes set. Now, I am very sure that a lot of you guys are thinking I'm probably very crazy for picking Book of Fortunes as number 1. But listen to this. Look how cool this hammer and gem look. I mean, this crystal ball gem just looks so cool. It's super detailed and it even has this very cool glow around it. And the hammer is also a very cool concept as well, with the hammer being a open book and with a bunch of what appears to be fortunes inside of it. I mean, honestly, that is just such a cool concept for a hammer. And another thing about this hammer is that it has a very cool particle trail when you're beast, which is also very cool. I actually think that the Book of Fortunes hammer has one of the best particle trails of any hammer in the Flee the Facility. But it's just so sad that no one likes it. It's so underrated and people barely ever use it. A lot of people do have it though, so that is at least one good thing, that it's very high in supply. Although it's very low in demand and not that many people want it. I barely see people using it or wanting it in trading post. All in all, this hammer is very underrated and no one ever really likes it. Overall, this hammer meets all the criteria of being underrated. Very cool concept, very cool features, but not many people using it and no one really wanting it. Currently on Flee the Facility value lists, this hammer is pretty low. So before I inadvertently cause a random value mismatch from uploading this video, make sure to try and get your Book of Fortunes set right now. And that concludes our list today. Just to recap, on the number 5 spot we have the Snowman Set. On the number 4 spot we have the Dave Pumpkin Set. On the number 3 spot we have Coffin Set. Number 2 spot is Snow Globe Set, and the number 1 most underrated hammer, in my opinion, in Flee the Facility that is legendary, is Book of Fortunes Set. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, as that would help me out a ton. I would really appreciate all the support I get. Also, make sure to join my Discord server. Link will be in the description below. And feel free to comment down below. I would like to hear all of your guys' opinions as well on what are the most underrated Flee the Facility items. I love to see all the feedback I get from you guys in videos, and I really appreciate the support. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good day.